Americans should expect things to get even worse, and I'm going to tell you exactly what's happening since this is something that's probably going to affect all of us. Now, we've gone through quite the journey these past few years. I mean, we've seen a health crisis take over the world, inflation burning a hole in our wallets, prices at places like Walmart, Target, Costco, Kroger's, Aldi's, all skyrocketing. Not to mention the conflicts in Ukraine, Russia, Israel, Gaza, and of course the Red Sea. Many experts are now worried about something that's happening early this year, probably going to make a lot of people sick. A phenomenon that a majority of the United States should be preparing for, actually.
Blustery winds on the Front Range Wednesday were just the beginning of a fierce winter weather pattern that will include a possible bomb cyclone followed by a polar vortex. Watch the storm develop on this map showing barometric pressure. It's really just starting to take shape as a relatively weak surface low develops in eastern Colorado on Thursday. But the storm is forecast to strengthen rapidly into a powerful cyclone on Friday over the Great Lakes region, possibly undergoing something called bombogenesis, dropping 24 millibars of surface pressure in 24 hours or less. That's why these storms are sometimes called bomb cyclones.
Just to get some terms out of the way, a bomb cyclone is a storm that intensifies very rapidly, okay? And a polar vortex is a large area of low pressure with a counterclockwise flow of air that keeps the colder air near the poles. So experts are saying that the East Coast may actually be seeing its first real snowstorm in years, and that's not good news for a lot of folks. So normally a polar vortex isn't dangerous. It's not usually dangerous at all, and it's not usually something that's a cause for concern. However, it's still something that we need to be aware of since temperatures are going to be extremely different this time around. Now, if you guys remember, this has happened before. It actually got to a point that things were so bad that they actually had to put in travel bans so as not to endanger anyone within the area where the storm was happening.
Buffalo battered with a historic blizzard. Wind gusts exceeding 70 miles per hour, causing whiteout conditions.
There's cars about 35, 40 feet away. You can barely see them.
Knocking out power.
I am actually doing this briefing from home without power.
And prompting a travel ban throughout the area.
This is an epic statewide hazard. There's no other way to describe this.
The rapidly intensifying system known as a bomb cyclone turning deadly. Ohio's governor announcing 4 people died in weather-related accidents. At least 3 people killed in Kentucky.
The last second shopping is not worth it if it would cost you your life.
Lake effect snow leaving a trail of car crashes and traffic pileups. More than 1 million people lost power. Flash floods followed by frigid temperatures could spell more trouble today in New York. The storm bringing holiday travel to its knees. Ground stops keeping planes out of the air from Seattle to Charlotte, Milwaukee to Memphis. Seattle's ice storm prompting Alaska Airlines to cancel more than 500 flights. Across the country, nearly 6,000 cancellations and more than 10,000 delays.
And so this is why we're being told to prepare. And also it's why I'm trying to get this message out to more of you guys, because this is serious stuff, guys. In fact, it's been reported that one of the most recent storms affected over 750,000 square miles, and it hit more than 30 states with snow, ice, rain, and thunderstorms. This surrounded almost 2 million square miles. This is absolutely nuts, guys. And to make matters worse, experts are expecting even more storms will likely bring more of the same. However, they're going to bring strong winds, even severe thunderstorms, and flooding rainfall. Now, if you've ever experienced a flood, just know that this is a very humbling and traumatic experience. Now, according to the Storm Prediction Center, people in the south and the southeast of the country should also prepare as strong thunderstorms development is possible for parts of central and eastern Texas, where the storms are posing a huge risk of severe hail, wind, and even tornadoes. Now, depending upon when I upload this video, chances are that you're probably already feeling the chilly weather, as 88% of the country is expected to see below freezing temperatures. Now, what really scares me here is that there is a chance that we may actually see power grids fail as more and more people are going to be turning on the heat at this time, meaning that some preparations are likely going to be necessary.
Well, right now, the power grid manager expects to have enough electricity for everyone.
The KV Defender started tracking the power grid reliability since a deadly winter storm back in February of 2021. Investigative reporter Erica Proffer is here with how the grid looks heading into next week.
Yeah, Erica, I'm looking at the grid behind you, and some of the lines on that graph look a little too close for comfort.
You're talking about these over here?
Those are the ones. Those are the ones.
This is a look at the power supply and demand forecast. Now, this updates every hour, and the overall trend is the same. So this area here that we were talking about, you can expect that supply and demand to be close. It's the 8 a.m. hour and the 10 p.m. hour next Tuesday. So I spoke with Doug Lewin. He's an energy expert and a consultant, and he told me that this line, this purple one here, that is the supply line, and it may dip because power plants may stop working. Some, not a lot. But he expects the grid to hold up much better now because of things like weatherization, like ensuring the gas pipeline has electricity. That was key to improving our grid. And he says this blue line is what we really need to improve. This is the demand line. He says that is high because we need to improve energy efficiency.
Now, what's more is that it's actually going to be affecting a lot of people that generally don't have access to heat, like the homeless, and of course, even animals that are left outside. Wind chills are expected to be brutal, and this is their word for it, okay? They're saying that this low wind chill temperature, they're going to be dangerous for much of the country. The Weather Service even said that it would be best to check your car batteries because those are going to be most likely sold out within a matter of a short period of time. So, especially as more of these cars are going to have trouble starting up in these cold conditions. So much for EVs, huh? I'm kidding, of course. Or maybe not so much. But we all know what cold weather does to batteries anyway, right? Now, there's also a chance that a storm hits places like Washington and Philadelphia. And if you're from the area, you would know that you guys haven't seen an inch of snow in like, what, the last 2 years now? It's been reported that a minor disruption of the polar vortex may also help increase the chances of cold air outbreaks over the East Coast and Europe. Experts are predicting that this weather is going to last a few weeks, meaning that if you want to prepare, now might be the time to do it. I know folks who are already tired of this kind of weather and decided to move to warmer states like Florida, Alabama, and whatnot. However, that's not an option for everyone, you know? It takes time, it takes money, resources, and all that stuff. I know. So I talked about the power grids a while ago, right? And while it might be a good idea to have a backup generator or at least some power banks for your gadgets, that way you can stay connected and be informed of what's happening, even if there is an outage. Although it is expected that state grid operators are now most probably monitoring the situation and the conditions given the risk of higher energy demand this time. It is worth noting that it is a higher risk for us with lower temperatures, as you guys may already know, since it's a lot easier to just kind of jump into the pool or the beach in the ocean in the summer to cool off, something you can't really do in frigid conditions. Now you might be asking yourself, is it time to go out and start looking for extra water and food? Well, I think it really depends on your situation. Now I'm not saying though that you should go full prepper on this, all right? That's entirely up to you. But what I am saying though is that, we are headed for some tough weather, and it's better to be prepared than to scramble around at 1 a.m. in the morning looking for a place where you might be able to buy supplies. You know what I'm saying though, right? But what are you guys experiencing at the moment? And if you live in a place that usually experiences these weather conditions, how do you prepare for it normally? And as always, I appreciate you guys taking the time to keep yourselves informed here. But before I go, I want to thank you guys for keeping me company. Stay safe, stay warm, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.